Now that's how you start off a series. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Gen. I'm back with another video, and this is a post-game reaction of ALCS Game 1. I've been gone for a while. That's not happening anymore during this playoffs. Every single game is getting a post-game reaction. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the man of the hour. What a bounce-back game for Carlos Rodon. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. The most whiffs in Yankees history in a playoff game. That's the guy we paid $100 million to. He was mixing his pitches to perfection. He was throwing that slider like it was nothing. That fastball had so much life. He even mixed in the changeup a few times, which is exactly what he needs to do to succeed. This is the formula for Carlos Rodon to be worth the money we gave him. For him to win games, he needs to mix his pitches effectively. And that's exactly what he did. That slider was nasty. He was able to get really good hitters like Jose Ramirez looking dumb on them. He kept Steven Kwan in check. You know how tough it is to keep Steven Kwan in check? He's coming off of 3 straight playoff games, 3 or more hits. One of those games was against Tariq fucking Skubal. That's how tough it is to keep the pesky Steven Kwan in check. And Carlos Rodon just did that. That is the type of statement we needed to punch them in the mouth with. This isn't even Garrett Cole. And yet we're still going to give you one of the better postseason outings of 2024. That's what we needed. Made one mistake all night. You could kind of come to expect Carlos Rodon will give up a home run or 2 in these games. But again, solo homer. No one on base. That's the most important part. Carlos Rodon was fantastic and then handed it off to a bullpen that was equally as great. Clay Holmes in this postseason provided so much worth to this team that I think fans are starting to come around on him coming back next year based solely on what he's done so far in this postseason. This is probably the most effective I've seen Clay Holmes' sinker look since 2022. That's a long ass time ago. Clay Holmes in a non-closing situation can still be one of the better relievers in baseball. He can't handle the 9th inning pressure, and that is perfectly fine. He does not have to handle the 9th inning pressure to be successful in pinstripe. He needs to give us what he can do at the highest level. And that is exactly what he's given us through the ALDS and now through game 1 of the ALCS. We had that one scare with Tim Hill where he gets an interference call, 2nd and 3rd, with 1 out. They call on Luke Weaver, and that's when Luke Weaver shuts the fucking door on Cleveland. He strikes out the first batter he faces, gets 2 outs so that they don't drive in 2nd run in that inning. Then gets Jose Ramirez to ground to first base, ends that inning. He did scare a little bit in the 9th inning, and that was a little bit crucial because the walk he gave up and the amount of balls he threw, there's a chance the Yankees are not using Luke Weaver tomorrow. He threw 20 pitches in this game. Aaron Boone has been very, very clear. He does not like using guys who throw 20 out of the bullpen on back-to-back days. Now, yes, this is the postseason, but the win today kind of gives us a bit of a leeway to say maybe we don't use Weaver in this situation. That scares me a little bit. But hopefully Garrett Cole is able to shut the door on this Cleveland offense, and we may not even need Luke Weaver. Other than the couple batters that he threw 3 balls to, he started off the game with 5 straight balls, one of them called a strike. Luke Weaver has been fantastic coming out of this bullpen in the closer role in the postseason. Against Kansas City, they had 0 answers at all. And in this game, it looked like at times they were able to see his fastball well. But then he went up against Josh Naylor, and Josh Naylor had probably the worst at bat you could possibly have coming off of a 5-pitch walk. Swinging at all 3 pitches, all 3 of them being outside the zone. I get that Josh Naylor is an aggressive hitter, but that at bat kind of signified exactly what Cleveland was going through that entire game. They just couldn't get anything going. That 8th inning was the only spark they really had. And that fizzled out really quickly once Luke Weaver came in. Now let's talk about the offense, because this is where I think the Yankees excel in this series. Walks, 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 and walks. That's what the Yankees do to pitchers on a nightly basis. They work counts and they force you to walk them every single time. The Yankees as a whole drew 7 walks. The bottom of the third showed exactly how the Yankees have done it all year. Juan Soto comes up, he hits a bomb into the right field bullpen, makes it 1-0, and then it's working the count, getting walk after walk after walk with wild pitch after wild pitch. Alcs Cobb had to come out of the game. They brought in this guy named Cantillo, I believe, and he was all over the place. Granted, I think Bo Naylor could have done a much better job behind the plate, blocking some of these pitches. Cantillo came in and could not find the strike zone, and more than that, could not find a way to get the ball over to where the catcher can catch it. Three wild pitches leads to 2 runs, goes on to Alcs Cobb's record, where Alcs Cobb goes 3 1/3 of 3-run ball instead of 1-run ball. And then the Yankees tack on another run in the 5th, a Aaron Judge sac fly. Yes, he did not have the most productive day, but I do think Aaron Judge is getting close with a few of these swings. His swings are looking a lot better than the early games of the Kansas City series. He's starting to put barrel to ball. The wind was pretty crazy today. He may have to deal with a lot of crazy wind, so he's going to have to produce outside of that. His swings are getting a lot better, and that sac fly was very important, as it seemed. And right before Cleveland can go on their run to scrape 1 run back, Giancarlo Stanton comes up and continues his playoff tear. Everyone has shown this stat, so I don't think I'm actually giving you guys any news. It's insane that Giancarlo Stanton is number 2 all time at bats to home runs, and number 1 is Babe fucking Ruth. Giancarlo Stanton is one of the biggest playoff risers the Yankees have ever had, and we had guys like Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Giancarlo Stanton is up there in terms of rising to the occasion of a playoff series. Hits another home run in this game. Has had a great time at the plate this entire postseason. He's really become the most important hitter in our lineup, because although Juan Soto is playing very well, and you got some of the guys at the bottom of the order that are playing pretty well, no one has been more consistent than Giancarlo Stanton. And when they're working around guys like Soto and Judge, it's gonna get to Stanton at that point. They can't work around him, and he does shit like that. Now, I do want to talk about one thing that has really pissed me off throughout both the DS and now the CS. Every time Giancarlo Stanton does something, hits a home run, gets a double into the left center field gap, gets an RBI, what's the first thing that comes out of the commentator's mouth? He's not what he used to be. Why is it that every time Giancarlo Stanton does something good, he gets slighted at every chance? Is he the MVP caliber 60 home run hitter he was in Miami? No, he's not. He's had so many injuries that guy is gone. But you know what this guy is? This guy is leading a team that is the favorite to win a World Series, dominating, carrying this team on his back. The home run he hit in Kansas City was one of the biggest home runs that the Yankees have hit in the 2020s. Giancarlo Stanton right now, with Aaron Judge being on his slide, Giancarlo Stanton is the most important hitter in this Yankees lineup. That's the only thing that should be said after he hits a bomb. Not, oh, well, he's getting older, he's had a lot of injuries, he runs like a tortoise, he used to be so good, now he's tapered off. Enough with that. We get it. He's not Miami Marlins Giancarlo Stanton, but he's pretty fucking damn good. And I'll take this version of Giancarlo Stanton any day of the week. Now, with this win against Cleveland, the Yankees go into Game 2 having a lot of their key bullpen guys rested. Jake Cousins is rested. Clay Holmes did not put out too much effort. He should be available. But we may not even need, because Garrett Cole, the Yankees ace, is on the mound. What he provided for the Yankees in Game 4, the Kansas City series, that's what we signed Gerrit Cole to do. Gerrit Cole is supposed to be the pitching equivalent of what Giancarlo Stanton is doing on the offensive end. And he produced. Yes, game 1 was not that great from Gerrit Cole. I'm expecting that's going to be a blip on the radar. Gerrit Cole looks like he is locked the fuck. When Gerrit Cole is on, I don't think any offense in baseball can hit him consistently. And with this Kansas City team that is not the most consistent offensive force, I think Gerrit Cole could have a real field day here. And maybe he can help preserve Luke Weaver going into an off day, which then would make Luke Weaver available for both days against Cleveland in Cleveland. Tomorrow is a massive opportunity for the Yankees. Going 2-0 at home and maintaining home field advantage, key in 7-game series. You do not want to give that home field advantage right back to this Kansas City team, especially coming off of some of the momentum they had coming in from the ALDS, hitting a grand slam off of probably the best pitcher in baseball. Yes, they lost this game, but they probably still feel relatively upbeat about how things are going. If we leave that door open by losing a game at home, that could be devastating for our chances. But overall, this was a great win from the guys. A few guys need to step up. I hate to say it, but my boy Jazz, after the home run he hit in game 2 of the ALDS, he hasn't done really anything. We need that part of the lineup to be big in this series. We need to drive in runners when they are in scoring position. We are still struggling mightily with that, and we struggled mightily with that in this game as well. One of the things that gives me very good hope for this team is that we have not played a perfect game all postseason. There has been a flaw with everything we've done all postseason, and we've only lost one game to date. The middle of this order, outside of Stanton, needs to start driving in Glaber and Soto when they get on base. First inning today, you had first and second, nobody out. Yes, there were a couple bullshit calls against Aaron Judge. You gotta put something in play there. Jazz had a few opportunities with runners in scoring position. He was not able to step up. Again, this umpire was terrible. So there were a few calls. Probably should have gone Jazz's way. And then in the next at bat, he was a little too aggressive, knowing the strike zone's not on his side, and popped out to the left fielder. Adjustments need to be made, and we have to start capitalizing on opportunities so that a game like this, that at the end was a little bit nerve-wracking, can turn into a comfortable victory. But overall, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the New York Yankees. We are 7 wins away from capturing what we haven't in 15 years. I'll be back tomorrow. Game 2 post-game reactions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.